So when it comes to direct contracts, there's 4 types. And we need to go through them because they all have different impacts on the number of people that you can replicate it with, or if they can scale. And so that's why it's kind of shaped as a pyramid, is to represent, right, the number of lives that can actually be served via these types of direct contracts. Type number 1, closed. This is when one employer works with a provider and only that employer can access the contract. It's really where a lot of the direct contracting space started. The direct contracting space has really only been around, at least in print. Kaiser Family Foundation reported on it for the first time in 2019. 2019, that's it. Then it was a way that employers were accessing healthcare. And so it's very fragmented. There's not a lot of maintenance in it. It's kind of this Wild West arena. And a closed direct contract only allows one employer. I don't even care if you're an enterprise employer. You can't impact the community if it's a closed direct contract. Type number 2 is what we call open with constraints. This starts to allow more than one employer to join in to the given contract, but it often has constraints, plan design constraints, geography constraints, size of employer constraints, what carrier they're coming from constraints, that ultimately make it something that can't be replicated and actually impact an entire community. They've got to be between 50 and 100. That's who can join. Oh, right? Constraints. The third is what we call open. And I love this is because you have to do this with the provider community, not to. Let me say that again. You do direct contracting with the provider community, not to them. An open direct contract at a philosophical level starts saying, as a provider, wow, I actually understand a little bit about unbundled self-funding, and I should be doing everything I can to help my community get there, because in getting there, it makes it sustainable for my community and for me. So I want as many employers as possible to be able to join this. I don't care if they're 2 lives, I don't care if they're 20,000 lives, I don't care if it's 150 lives. Make it open. It's not controlled by one person. It's a community asset. Open. In some of our most innovative and cutting-edge direct contracts, and this goes into the 4th, there's really 2 rate sheets within the same direct contract. Rate sheet number 1 is open. Anybody can join. Rate sheet number 2 is what we call a full pay. It's starting to contemplate what it would be like to actually remove the providers from the collection business and to make the engagement with the member so meaningful that they actually enjoyed the healthcare experience. It's a full pay model. It's where you really get down to margin-based contracts, fully, because the dollar's so dang efficient. And so as a community, as an industry, we need to recognize that we are on the cutting edge, and what has been fragmented, what has been kind of almost a control play, an exclusivity play, if we're actually going to change what we're doing, change how we've been engaging, we have to start working towards open direct contracts, and then again, in the most cutting edge ones where providers really get it, a secondary rate sheet in there that is a full pay rate sheet.